Next thing on the agenda is the outgoing president's address. So it's been an interesting trip the last year and a half, 2 years. I've met a lot of new people in a lot of different places, traveled around quite a bit. But this last year, my trip down to Florida, down to the FIG conference, that was quite an event that was put on down there. And how many people here attended that event? Quite a few. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Hi. And but no, it was great when you go to a place like that and you see 1,100 people, I believe, from 85 countries, and they all do what we do, all around the world. The common thread is there, and it's amazing when you think of some of these countries and you think, well, what do they do there? What does a surveyor do in the middle of a small country in Africa or someplace like that? But they do what we do. They don't do boundary work, I'm sure. Most places don't have private property. But the surveyors are needed everywhere in the world because everything depends on us. And while I was there, it was over Memorial Day. And doing a Memorial Day presentation was a real honor for me to present that. And many of you attended. I don't know, there was a couple hundred Americans there, and they attended and paid homage or whatever to the service members that paid the price for your freedom and our ability to live as free people. Then I traveled around this last year to several states, and I have to pick on New York first. Because New York, they were so kind. This was in January. They were so kind to me that they give me a first-hand lesson in lake effect snow. Was driving up there just south and east of Buffalo and pulled off. The road was clear. It was great sailing, and pulled off the road to get a sandwich, go to the restroom. Wasn't off more than 30 to 40 minutes, and it started snowing. And the snowflakes were about the size of your hand. Got back on that highway, and it was completely covered, snow-covered, slippery, 20 miles an hour, could hardly see the vehicle in front of you. That went on for, I don't know, 30 miles or so. And then wide open, and away we went again. So anyway, I made it there. And while I was there, they had an induction ceremony there. It was pretty cool. They had a bagpiper and a drummer, and the officers marched in behind those people, and it was quite a show. It was great. But I kept hearing this term, and I could not figure out what the heck they were talking about. There's a lot of vineyards up there, a lot of winemaking country, but they kept saying words like nice apples. And I couldn't figure out what the heck are they bragging about their apples for. They got all these grapevines. I don't see any apple trees. Well, that's the name of their society, the New York Society of...
New York State Association of Professional Land Surveyors.
Yeah, nice apples. So if you hear that term, you'll understand what it is now. And I'm going to other states. Michigan was really a great experience. A boy from, farm boy from Ohio going up there with amongst all those thugs. No, but the traveling around and you meet so many wonderful people, and they're all like you, but they're different. The different locales and stuff, it was a great experience for me, and I thank you for the opportunity to do that. Um, so I'd like to, now that I'm leaving, I've appreciated the time with you. I felt very good about the things we accomplished this year. I want to thank Linda Foster. She has brought our committees back together and refocused them. She's done a great job. This is what was needed, and I had the idea, and I said, here, Linda, I'm good at that. But there's been several other individuals that I've really appreciated, not in the last year alone, but in my entire experience here at NSPS for the last about 15 years or so. And I've got a couple plaques here to give away. And I'd like to start. Let me see, Mr. Norm Ellerbrock. Where are you, Norman? Norm has done a tremendous job. He has done a tremendous job with our CST program. And I thank you so much, my friend. I got to know him a little bit. When you're in a pickup truck with a guy for 4 or 5 hours, you learn a little more about him. And I didn't know much about him prior to when we went to St. Louis. He picked me up in St. Louis and drove me to Fort Leonard Wood, where we put on a military career presentation, so to speak. But Norman, thank you so much for your efforts and your help. Appreciate it, man. Now this guy goes a little farther back. Let me see if I can find him. There he is. Rick Howard. Come on up here, Rick. Rick was here when I got here. I think he was maybe a year or so ahead of me, but he's worn many hats over the years, and he's the head of our foundation now, and he's really doing a good job. Always has done a good job. And besides that, he's a great guy. Now, this guy just moved south. Mr. Miller, where are you? Come on over here. Bob Miller was here when I got here, has been here ever since. He's always fulfilled some sort of strategic role for us in that time period. I remember when I first got here, and there was a gang of us from like the Great Lakes area that would always sit at the same table, and they used to throw spitballs and things at me because I was from Ohio. But no, Bob, you've done a good job as our secretary or as our treasurer and so forth. He's a good bean counter. He's a good bean counter. He's not too good with cash, though. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate all your help. The last person is a fellow that has no comprehension of integrity at all. Mr. Amy, please come up here. This fella and I, we kind of banter back and forth about the team we support occasionally, especially in late November. And who won those 10 years in a row? Anyway, no, Craig and I think we hit it off pretty good from the very beginning. And yeah, there's some people that think we hate each other, but it's a love-hate relationship, I guess. But I've always appreciated this fella. He's always done a lot for the society, and with secretary, that's probably about the most difficult job of all the officers in my mind. Keeping all those notes, making all those reports, and I'd never want that job. But he's done it well, and during our transition from ACSM to NSPS, and this might predate a few of you people, he created a map of 100% membership. And as the states came in, he filled them in. And that map was so critical to us because it gave us a focal point of our transition. And as that map filled up, it gave us the enthusiasm and the excitement that this is going to work. This is going to work. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate your help.
Would you do this last one? Got one more. Do this last one.
I got one more?
Yeah, but down in front.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Where's he at?
Back just to us over there.
Okay. Mr. Holhall, put your dessert down, please. Come along, my friend.
Uh-oh. Are we going on a trip?
Yeah, we're going to redress you.
You like to travel.
To those of you who aren't aware who John is, he's been our FIG representative for how many years? 50?
I don't think 50.
25?
Since, let me think, math. 24, yeah, 32.
32 years. That's a lot of airplanes to catch. But John has done a good job for us. He represented us well at the international level, and he has a lot of respect from people all over the world. And he has respect from all of us right here today. Thank you, John.
In appreciation for your dedicated service to the serving profession from NSPS, this is one thing.
Okay.
This man, no matter where he goes, he always looks good. So,
Uh-oh.
we got him a blazer with the Orlando FIG logo on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and effort, and when you think about all those years, what were you doing 32 years ago, folks? And to spend that amount of time and away from family, away from your job, whatever you're doing, it's a hell of an accomplishment. So thank you so much.
Well, and I actually started going to FIG meetings 43 years ago. So, in 1981.
How many countries have you been in?
Well, I had no idea, and one of my grandsons asked me about 3 years ago and made me count all the countries. So with Ghana, this will make 104.
104 countries. How many of you can even name 104 countries?
I can't. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Where's Mr. Birch? Yes. It's time that we change nameplates of the people that sat up here.
Call everybody up.
Okay, Mr. Davy Edwards, where are you? You didn't run off. Sorry about your luck. Linda.
We'll be out front. Hey, Davey. Davey, we'll be out front. Oh, front. Yep.
Tim Murphy. Mr. Miller. And Mr. Amy.
And you go.
And I go.
Leadership in a professional organization is a magnificent responsibility, and acceptance of this responsibility is paramount to the acceptance of a leadership role. Election to a position of leadership in any organization is indeed an honor. Election as a leader in one's professional organization is doubly an honor. It is a symbol of the trust and confidence placed in you by your peers that you will do your best to lead the organization, and that you have the ability to do so as demonstrated by your commitment and service through the years. Your acceptance of the responsibilities of leadership in NSPS affirms your dedication and purpose in serving the society to the very best of your ability. And in that direction and administration of the society's business, you will place the interests of the entire membership and the profession as a whole above your personal interest at all times and all matters. So I ask you and seek your affirmation. Do you accept the responsibility of the office to which you have been elected and to support the bylaws of NSPS? If so, please say, I will. By the authority vested in me by NSPS, I declare you the newly elected officers of our great society.
Make sure this thing don't fall down. Was having a little problem earlier today, wasn't it? All right, so like I tell all my students the first time I ever see them, you know, they're just now getting to know me, and I'm just now getting to know them. I tell them, first things first, if you need a translator, you might want to get one because I speak Texan. So just in case I don't have the accent that Bob had, it may be a little bit different, but bear with me. One of the things that I'd like to say is thank you to everybody out here. I am honored by my peers that have voted me into this position, and I am here as a leader, but only as a servant leader. I'm here for you guys. My job is to make sure that we move this organization, our profession, into the future. And that's my job. That's my goal. Yes, education is important to me, but I can't just focus on education alone. And also, I can't just do it alone. I rely upon you guys. You guys are the ones that have led this organization to this point, You're going to be the ones that lead this organization after I'm gone. But if I can just get it to one step forward, that's my goal. And I can't do it without you guys. So I appreciate everything that y'all already do for the organization, and I look forward to working in the future with everybody in here on my tenure as president. So one of the things that I'd like to do, because I am following in the footsteps of some great people that have served for the organization, and I want to give everybody in here a round of applause for what you have done and set in front of me. So I appreciate it, and I want to thank you. Thank y'all. So Bob can sit down. I'm going to go ahead and give him his last award as he gets on the end of the table.
Close to the door.
Yeah. It's what we call rolling off the table in Texas. And so, Bob, I do have some shoes to fill. You did a great job this year, and you accomplished what you needed to accomplish. And it has set a precedent, not only within this organization, but you set a precedent within all professions. And that is take an organization and build a bridge so that the veterans can have a place to go and get out into our profession. Thank you very much for that. So I'd like to wrap this up with a little bit of good of the order. One of the things that when I started in this profession, it was the last thing I wanted to do. I hate saying that because I grew up a son of a surveyor. I may have said that to y'all before. That sometimes, it comes off as a cuss word, son of a surveyor. But honestly, I was proud that my dad and what he did, and he sacrificed a lot to get me to where I'm at today. For 50 years, sorry. For 50 years, I watched my dad work the ups and the downs of the surveying profession. 2 weeks ago, I helped my dad move out of his office of 40 years as he closed his door to this profession. He gave me the opportunity to be here today. I'd never dreamed I'd be here today. But he's given me the ability that I never dreamed a surveyor could do. So for me to say I never wanted to be a surveyor was on me. But I take this responsibility to lead and give back to the profession that has given so much to me and my family. Thank y'all. One thing you learn about me, I'm emotional. Sorry. So, as we go out tonight, we finish up our meals and everything else. One thing I'd like to say that I've learned here at NSPS, it's a good day to be a surveyor. So, last thing on this list is the adjournment. And I move to adjourn our general membership.